if you're just getting up, there's a lot of wedding talk today. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are officially married. The couple tied the knot in a ceremony at Madison Square Garden last night. And the CBC's Griffin Yeager joins us now from New York, where it all happened. Griffin, I'm sure there are so many Swifties who wish they were in your position just to breathe the air of the newlyweds. It was very secretive, but what do we know so far today?
Yeah, secretive is the word. I don't think any of us were breathing the air of the newlyweds, but it seems like they did have a good time. Before we get to the freshest details, I just want to pan over here because right here you can see all of the forklifts and trucks disassembling what was a multi-million-dollar wedding. We're seeing shelving units with their initials on it. We're seeing different sort of maybe concession stands and a large crew taking down what must have been quite the event. Now, last night, Swift's publicist did confirm the wedding and a couple other details, including the fact that they did not have a typical bridal party, but both the bride and groom chose to have their brother by their side. Taylor Swift decided to have Austin Swift, her brother, as her man of honor, and Travis Kelce chose his co-podcaster and brother Jason Kelce as his best man. And get this, Adam Sandler officiated the wedding here at Madison Square Garden. We haven't seen any glimpses of the event that went down inside. We do know they were dressed in custom Dior, and I guess we'll just be watching out on socials to see what trickles in and what they decide to release down the line.
It is amazing, though, Griffin, to think what has been released under our noses leading up to this wedding that maybe we didn't notice, because Taylor Swift is the queen of Easter eggs and she likes hiding all these different things. Yes. So I'm sure these little fan detectives out there are already piecing things together. But let's talk about the atmosphere outside of Madison Square Garden. You were there. What was it like in these moments as people were waiting to find out more and knowing this was all going down?
Well, we'll talk about the moment that it actually happened. When it was confirmed that they were married, a billboard popped up outside of Madison Square Garden that said just&t married with both of their initials. The Empire State Building was Taylor Swift's Something Blue. And outside, we were standing waiting for guests to arrive all day. There was a lineup of blacked out SUVs filled with tons of A-list celebrities attending this event. There was a media frenzy, blocks and blocks down, just cameras and reporters trying to get some sort of sight. I actually spoke to Rob Sheffield. He wrote a book about Taylor Swift, and he talked about why, for fans, for media, this is such a big deal. Take a listen.
We've heard her be heartbroken. We've heard her fall madly in love. We've heard her fall madly out of love. We've been through the emotional ringer with her. And for her to have a day like this, as she once sang, it's a love story. Baby, just say yes.
There you have it, and I'm sure there are lots of lyrical references that are just trickling throughout New York City today because it happened. There was a wedding.
And I know you are continuing to dig for more details. Peek into one of those trucks, Griffin, would you? And tell us what else you see in there. We'll check in with you a little later. All right, thanks so much.
Thing.
The CBC's Griffin Yeager.
Sounds good.
For more, and now joined by Esther Lee. She's the editorial director for The Knot Worldwide. Esther, I spoke to a guest in New York earlier who said we'll be talking about this wedding for centuries. As someone who works in the wedding industry, how big of a deal is this, knowing just how impressionable her fans are and how much of a style setter she is to so many around the world?
We have seen the Taylor Swift impact. It's called Swiftonomics, especially when it's talking about the monetary value of what she's able to move with markets. And indeed, Taylor's wedding is going to have an indelible impact on the industry, as well as couples getting married for generations to come. First and foremost, she's so beloved. And we see that couples, of course, as they're getting married, turn to certain celebrities, such as Taylor, for inspiration around the wedding. Knowing that she wore Dior Haute Couture, it wouldn't be a surprise if there's suddenly a frenzy around the Jonathan Anderson of it all. As well as if we see photos from the wedding, I imagine there's going to be a sizable ripple effect from it.
We saw the impact when they announced their engagement. People wanted to know where her engagement dress was. That quickly sold out. So one can only imagine what the impact will be once we see the photo of her dress, as you mentioned. And then the colors, the themes, what flowers did she use? Do you expect that to be the trend for weddings once people really start to see all of those little details?
We sure do. That's what we anticipate. The whole point is that, we see that 2 million couples got married last year, moving about $100 billion in spend in the US alone. One thing to note, however, is that when Taylor got engaged, the Knot team did speculate, and we did end up forecasting that there would be at least conservatively a $2 billion lift just from her wedding planning and her wedding details alone. So we just imagine couples will be feverishly and fervorously going after just some of those details with Taylor's taste in mind.
Let's talk about not just the wedding day and the dress and the flowers, but also rings. With their proposal, people were looking into where that ring was from. Could we see the same thing with the wedding bands? How far do you think this will span? Honeymoons, maybe even a baby watch after? This will just be the gift that keeps on giving.
Well, we're definitely still on the wedding watch alone. I can't wait for her to drop the photos, and hopefully she will. Our team is awaiting currently, and they're on standby all day. However, I think the one thing I want to note is that it will span across the board. Every detail will be scrutinized. And this is something that Taylor knew herself, which is why she went through so many great lengths, she and her team, to conceal the event, to make sure that the privacy of her guests and herself was ensured. And so when she wants to drop the photos, when she wants to share this moment in her life, and hopefully she will, that will be up to her discretion. And everything, she knows this from head to toe, the color of her hair, what her hairstyle looked like, the bangs or no bangs of it all, which people have been discussing online. We won't know until we see it.
Finally, I want to ask you, why do you think there is so much appeal and interest? They're not the first A-list couple to get married. They're not the first A-list couple where people were really interested in the details of their wedding. What is it that is different about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce?
There's so much. Taylor Swift herself is just a magnetic force, and her fans they just love her so dearly, and she just has a captive audience. Of course, we saw this with the Eras Tour, just the amount of stadiums that she sold out. Her music, her lyrics, it's resonant. She's herself as an artist. Travis Kelce is obviously a pro football player who is just so respected. He's a Super Bowl winning champion. So we know that there's opportunities for this couple to, of course, really spread the love. But on top of it, it's the charitableness. They donated $26 million before the wedding across the board to various charities. Knowing the impact of this wedding, this is a couple who's self-aware and they want to share the love. And certainly the city was celebrating last night. I was by MSG all day. I saw the Empire State light up last night. It was such a fairy tale, and I just wish them the best.
Esther Lee, thank you so much for your time, editorial director of The Knot Worldwide.
Thank you.